Hello and welcome to MTG Reads. I'm DP, author, MTG fan and voracious reader, here to guide you to some of the very best of the written word in MTG. And what a week it has been. Normally in August it's vacation time and it's a quiet period in the Wizards release schedule, but instead we have had a very, very busy week. Magic is everywhere. It was on the front cover of Tabletop Gaming, and there were 180 articles I found this week, which is a sort of a 20% increase over normal. A lot of this is because of the new release schedule that came out, where Wizards was announcing a whole bunch of Commander products, Commander Legends and Commander Green, with a few more details, as opposed to the teaser that they'd done about a year ago. Now, I predicted that there would be a strong Commander theme this week as a result, and sure enough, Commander is absolutely everywhere. There pretty much isn't a website that doesn't cover some Commander material this week, and as a result, some of the very best articles are Commander. For example, over at Channel Fireball, Toma Abramovici is taking a look at the upcoming partner cards that are announced for Commander Legends. He takes a look at the history of Partner, how it morphed into Partner With by the time he got to Battle Bond, and why. He then goes on to look at the possibilities of just how good a whole new flood of Commander Partner cards could be. But he also takes a look at the other side of the argument, which is his fears on just how much this could impact the game with a whole host of power creep. Now, he balances out the fact that there's been a lot of clear and obvious Wizards intentional power creep for Commander in the last year. But what worries him more is the unintentional piece. He looks, and there are something like over 1,500 different combinations that are coming fairly shortly in Partner Commanders. And his worry is that unintentional power creep could break the game. So he likes the fact that they're offset by some increased playtesting, but he does pose the question, why not open it up to get in some members of the competitive EDH world who are very, very good at finding busted cards and using them? Meanwhile, Chase Carroll over at TCG Player is looking at two of those commanders in particular, two of the partner commanders, Halana and Alena. Now, she's looking at the fact that these two commanders are, from a flavour perspective, absolutely great for the, as she points out, the Vorthos community who enjoy the story. These are great cards to see. And based on that flavour perspective, she builds a very budget-friendly deck. I mean, it's an average price overall, but these two commanders' pre-order prices are sort of 99 cents each. And she builds a flavourful commander deck based on these two commanders. So she's already found a home for these. Now, she admits that there are likely to be other cards and greater synergies coming with Commander Legends and possibly also in the Zendikar release, and so that deck list will probably adapt over time, and it's certainly slightly wacky. There's more than 100 cards listed in it because there are several cards listed twice, and therefore I think the pricings on the deck list are slightly off. But her passion for this flavourful deck really does carry it. It's a very good article, well worth a read. Whilst Kristn Gregory over at Hipsters of the Coast takes a look at the fact that she was a featured guest at the CommandFest, where all of this kicked off. She talks about the panels where Gavin Verhey and the team announced the different Commander products, what was going to be in Commander Green and that sort of thing. Panels discussing the issues of power creep and the like. She looks at the previews that were announced, and she discusses the games that she played and how all of that went, looking over the webcam-based gaming on Spelltable. She describes the whole weekend, which she clearly thoroughly enjoyed. She looks at the fundraising, which is a very positive aspect of CommandFest, although as a personal aside, I find it slightly disconcerting that this is the second one of these, and despite the global audience and the global population that is paying into it, it seems to be only US charities that ever get picked. But Kristn takes a look at all of this, rounds up the whole weekend, sees that CommandFest is very much a good thing, and what we need in these fairly dark times where actually the gathering part of Magic the Gathering isn't at the forefront of everybody's minds. And in light of the fact that it's a webcam game to a large extent at the moment, Jason Alt over at Cool Stuff Inc. It takes a very good detailed look at deck building with webcam games at the forefront. Now, his preferred archetype is to have a control deck that includes stealing the opponent's cards and creatures and getting them on his own battlefield to use against their owners. That's always a great fun archetype, but it's not very practical when you're playing over webcams. And so what he's done is he has looked at much more webcam friendly alternatives. He has just woven in the webcam limitations and as another set of constraints within the deck building. And he offers up very good alternatives and ways to deliver an optimized control deck, but without the complications that arise from the webcams. So it's a very good article, well worth it, especially as the pandemic impacts are likely to go on for a while yet, and webcam-based Commander is likely to be with us for quite some time, if not always. But if you want a Commander article, usually there is only one place to go that will always serve you up a Commander article, and that is EDH Rec. And sure enough, this week, my favourite article of the week was by Andrew Cummings of EDH Rec. Now, Andrew starts by examining why people read about MTG, and from there bridges across to people learning about MTG. And he then sets out to build a deck that would be ideal for beginners. Now, there are a number of things that needs to be. It needs to be a deck which is intuitive, which has a very clear game plan, and is able to compete at a fairly casual to focused sort of a table. But also it needs to be affordable, and certainly that's what Andrew does here. He manages to deliver a deck that meets all of those in mono green for less than $40. It's an excellent article. There's lots of good asides in there, great explanations as to why he's made the choices and how the whole deck comes together. And if you are at all interested in Commander, which judging by the articles that are out there this week, the writers assume everybody is, if you're interested in Commander, then this is very much a great article for building a deck that you can get other players learning with, and I highly commend it. Now, there are no new announcements of books or anything else this week, so that just about wraps it up for now. If you like getting updates on what good reads there are, then please hit the thumbs up button and the subscribe button down below. If you hit the little bell thing, apparently you get a notification, although they don't seem to work on half the videos I'm subscribed to. But I'll come back again in due course and update you next week, which I suspect is going to be a more Zendikar-y week across a range of formats and far less on a Commander focus. But until then, happy reading and take care.